So hey everyone, welcome to the Power Features webinar. This is week number 2. If you joined us last week, then you know that for 8 weeks in a row, we're doing a significant product release every single week, and I'm gonna teach you guys a little bit more about today's here momentarily. But this is a very exciting thing. I'm happy you're here, happy you're joining live. At the end of the webinar, I'll take some of you guys' questions from the chat box. So feel free to go ahead and drop those in whenever you get a chance. Someone from the Jungle Scout team can help answer them immediately, or I personally will answer them closer towards the end. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and do this thing. So like I said, this is week number 2. Week 1, the response we got from you guys was fantastic, which I was really happy to see that. Really happy to see you enjoyed the ACoS search functionality. If you didn't get a chance to see that, check it out on our YouTube channel, but it's super cool because you can see which factory makes almost any product on Amazon just by typing in the ACoS for the product listing. So it's super, super cool. And I think you guys are going to like today's feature just as much. So, we talk to a lot of sellers here at Jungle Scout. I'm very grateful for all the sellers I get to talk to at conferences and on calls and stopping by here and visiting the office. And I get to hear a lot of different of the pain points you guys have with either starting or scaling your Amazon businesses. And what I hear a lot is that maybe someone has a product idea, they've researched it, but now they're stuck at this certain stage and they're not quite sure how to get past it. Or maybe you already have a bunch of stuff for sale on Amazon, but you're looking to optimize your listings or continue to scale up, or a host of other pain points. And we're always thinking about what can we best do to help you guys solve these different things. And that's what I'm gonna be talking about during this webinar. So by the end of this webinar, you're gonna know the perfect solution that we have for you here for learning to launch and scale your Amazon business. I'm also going to give you some of my top tips for closing out 2019 strong. And for those of you who stick around to the end of this webinar, we have a special deal for new customers. And we're also going to be giving away 10 Jungle Scout t-shirts, just like this one I'm wearing right here, to some lucky individuals who have signed up for the webinar and are chatting with us in the chat box here. So make sure you stick around till the end so you can take advantage of that. Today's function I'm going to be releasing is pretty awesome. However, the way that we've scheduled these webinars is each week actually gets a little bit better. So today's is pretty amazing, but you're going to want to make sure to attend the rest of the 8 weeks so that you can see all of these game-changing features that we're going to be launching every week and 6 more weeks after this one. And we did have some customers who got early access to what we're talking about today. And the feedback from you guys is always so amazing. And I love sharing some of these. Not only a $1 million case study, but this $1 billion information, Greg. Your options are spend $5,000 on the course or get all this information for free. And the feedback from you guys just goes on and on. I really love reading this because it's super cool to see all the hard work that we do here really pay off and how much you guys appreciate it and really love this stuff. So when we get to talk to all these sellers, one thing that comes up over and over again is that the sellers are looking for new education all the time. This is a constantly moving environment, and whether or not you're just starting out or you're trying to grow and scale your business, we constantly hear like, I'm tired of spending all the money on the courses only to be kind of let down, or the training's outdated, or it's frustrating to have to search around all over YouTube to find the different information that you're looking for. So with that, what we're launching today is the new Jungle Scout Academy. And this is directly to address the pain points that you guys have told us that you had. So as of today, the Jungle Scout Academy has officially launched. This is both for people who are just starting out and trying to start their very first business or start their side hustle. And it's also for those experienced sellers who are trying to learn the latest tips and tricks and tactics for how to grow on Amazon today and figure out what's working on Amazon today. This is both for people selling in North America, the US, as well as globally, Europe, elsewhere. The the stuff that we're talking about inside of the Academy is applicable for all those regions. And there's always something new to learn here. A combination of me and the rest of the Jungle Scout team has collectively sold over $100 million worth of products on Amazon. We've compiled a lot of these best learnings and what's working today into the Academy. I'm going to be talking more about that. So what's inside of here? We've already released 44 videos, and this is high quality content. It's well edited, so it's easy to consume. We've broken it down into little bite-sized pieces that are well organized, and it's all brand new content that hasn't been seen before. So we have a number of modules already out, and we're gonna be releasing one new module every single week for the rest of the year. So there's already 44 videos packed into here, but we're gonna be releasing a new one each week, so there's gonna be lots of new content all throughout the rest of the year. With that, you can find things like downloadable files and notes. And this is exclusive just for Jungle Scout customers. You're not gonna find this anywhere else floating around on the interwebs. Included in there is, like I said, what we're finding out through our testing and through working with sellers and selling our own stuff, like the tips and tricks and hacks and what's actually working today on Amazon, what it takes to win today on Amazon and into 2020 as well. And we'll be constantly updating this as we find new information and new information on what's kind of working. With that, I wanted to share some of the types of things that you can expect to find inside of the Academy. So, like I said, we're always testing new things. We're running these tests on our own products. We're working with sellers to find out what's working. We're really well connected in the Amazon community, so we always have lots of information around this. So I want to share a few of these tips before we get into the Jungle Scout Academy information. So this was something that I was really excited about. So I had a new product. I'd only been selling on Amazon for a few months. And I took a screenshot in here from the Seller Central dashboard. And this is for the prior 3 months. And this is actually the conversion rate of my listing. And it's a little bit hard to see with this small graph, but you can kind of see the scale over there on the left-hand side. What it comes down to is this started out at converting around 3, 4, maybe 5%. And over the course of the past 3 months, we've been able to get that conversion rate up to between 15 and 20%, which is a really good conversion rate on Amazon. And the way we did this was testing different images, split testing different images, and ultimately finding out which ones work the best and building those on top of each other. Now, in different niches or with different products, there are different types of images that are going to work better than others. But I'm going to share with you some of the biggest takeaways that we found from this and how we were able to steadily increase the conversion rate for this particular listing month over month. So the different types of images that I want to speak about here quickly are your main image, a competitive matrix, some lifestyle images, and then what I like to call us versus them photos or images, and I'll share these to you. So this isn't my product, but what I did with our product is there were different variations that had different colors. And when you search for this product on Amazon, Amazon chose the best-selling color to display to the customer. However, what would happen is if people weren't looking for that color, they probably wouldn't click on my listing. So what we're able to do is we're able to change it out for a main image that shows these little color swatches on the right-hand side. And I think why this was so effective is then the customer is able to see what other colors this particular product comes in. And as a result, we were able to increase our click-through ratio. So if you have a product that has different variations or comes in different colors, be thinking about doing something similar to this to make sure that the customer knows that your product comes in different colors. Another thing we tested and we ultimately added was a competitive matrix. And you've probably seen these on some listings before, but I was really surprised to see how much adding this one image increased the conversion rate for our product. And ultimately what you want to do here is you want to find out the characteristics that shoppers care about most for your style of product. A good place to find that is in the review section. And then you want to compare those yours versus your competitors, especially the areas where you're better. So this particular, and again, this isn't my exact product here, but the competitive matrix that we created looked very similar to this one. We also added lifestyle images. So lifestyle images can be fairly time consuming or even expensive to create. However, in our testing, we found, especially for this particular product, that they did make a big difference. And when you're thinking about how to create these lifestyle images, what you want to do is you want to put yourself in the shoes of the buyer, okay? And be thinking about how can you paint a picture for them of how their life would be better and improved because of this product. Now, I just chose two examples here. You know, the top one was they were selling these glasses, and to display like a drinking glass alone, it's not that, it doesn't invoke much emotion with your product, but showing something like this, now all of a sudden it's like, wow, you know, that looks like a pretty like cool party. It looks hip and modern and neat. And, you know, seeing an image like that, I can more easily put myself in the shoes of like how my life's going to be different if I were to purchase this product. And the same thing's true for this waterproof Bluetooth speaker in the bottom right-hand side here, is that a popular place to take this would be the beach. So same thing, you know, by showing images like this, it's easier for the Amazon shopper to think like, man, if I had this Bluetooth speaker, I'd be chilling on the beach, life would be good, we've listened to tunes, things are awesome. So these are the different types of things you should be thinking about when you're thinking about creating your lifestyle images. The last one I'm talking about here is us versus them images. And again, I'm comparing our product versus our competitors to make it easy for the customer to understand why our product is better, okay? So in this example here, the towel is thicker, and by just describing the thickness of the towel, it's difficult to get across, okay, how much thicker really is it than the competition? But by seeing this image here and this comparison, it's like, wow, you can see right away that it's like, you know, it says right here 60% thicker, but it actually even looks more than 60% thicker. That looks nice and plush and soft. So this is a great style of photo for to easily get across to the shopper why your product's better. And I encourage you guys to be thinking about how you can do a similar thing with your products. A second tip I want to share with you guys, something that we've had cool results on recently, is using Spanish keywords inside of our PPC campaign. So we took the top 10 best performing keywords. We used Google Translate to translate them into Spanish, added them into our backend search terms, and then created a PPC campaign around it. And again, I know these screenshots are kind of hard to see that I'm grabbing out of Seller Central here, but this is the last 30 days, and it got us an additional 6 sales. So it's not like a crazy amount, but it is 6 additional sales. But what's more exciting there is our total ACoS was only 12%, which is a very good ACoS in using Amazon. So, you know, an additional 6 sales at only 12.8% ACoS is really good. So this is something I encourage you guys to try as well. Another cool type of little like PPC hack that we've been doing recently that's been working well is creating a automatic campaign, and we go ahead and just stuff all of our products in there. And of course, we have other automatic campaigns running for each individual product, and we tweak those accordingly. However, what I found is for whatever reason, there's certain words that kind of just get left out. So I just create one more automatic campaign. I just put all my products in it, and here's the key part, is that I set the maximum bid to 20 cents, okay? And again, this isn't gonna get you a crazy amount of sales by any means, but again, you know, in the past 30 days for the products inside of the Jungle Creations account, so our case study account, this got us an additional 12 orders at a 15.3% ACoS, so a low ACoS. It's nice to get a few additional sales there, and this only takes like 3 minutes to set up. So I recommend you guys do this because, you know, you get some additional sales here for a very cost-effective rate. The last tip I want to give you guys here, this one's really cool that I found out just recently. And what I'm talking about here is creating multi-packs, okay? So if you have a product, you can either bundle multiple products together. So an example of this is with my Hooded baby towels. You know, a lot of people, if I look inside of Amazon Seller Central, there's a number of people that buy 2 of them, or sometimes even 3 of them. And what we found is by creating these multi-packs and putting them on your listing, even more people will buy multiple of these items together. And I do it with giving them a little bit of a discount so they're encouraged to purchase the multi-packs. And I even advertise that discount of the multi-pack on one of my images, okay? So that's a great way to make additional sales. But the tip I want to give you here is that we discovered a way that you could create different multi-packs or different bundles without having to actually package these items together and send them into Amazon like that. And the way that you do that is you list it as a variation on the same listing. However, you use fulfilled by merchant, okay? So unfortunately, this won't be Prime eligible, but you can still set it to free shipping. And then when someone purchases one of these bundles or one of these multi-packs, okay, you get the order through fulfillment by merchant, but you can actually just place a fulfillment order through Seller Central to ship these multiple products, whether it's a multi-pack of the same product or a bundle of a few different products you have, and fulfill it through Amazon, okay? So the benefit of that is you can test a lot of different multi-packs, okay? And this is what this particular company here is doing. They're testing a lot of different bundles or multi-packs with different colors. I think maybe even different quantities in there. You can find out what works well for your particular product in your particular listing. And then if that works out well, then you can bundle those together and ultimately send those into Amazon and fulfill them through the FBA program so that they're Prime eligible. So it's a really cool way. One, if you don't have multi-packs, I recommend you do so. And 2, this is a really cool way to test either bundles or multi-packs if you already have your products without having to package all these different ways and send them into Amazon that way. So this is a really cool tip. And these are the types of tips and tricks and hacks that we're talking about throughout the Academy. Not only that, but we go all the way to the basics. We explain things in such a way that's very easy to understand, whether you are just starting out or you are a pro Amazon seller and looking to kind of like take it to the next level. So with that being said, let's dive into the Academy. I want to show you guys a little bit what to expect if you're using Jungle Scout and find the Academy inside of here. And it's super cool. This was just rolled out. Today is the official launch day of it, even though there's a few people that got access to it early. And let me give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what it looks like. So I'm inside of the Jungle Scout product. And you'll notice a new tab over here called Academy. When you click on Academy, there's a lot of different pieces of content built right in here. So, you know, we have tutorials of how to use our product. So with each different feature, piece of functionality inside of Jungle Scout, you can find the corresponding tutorial here to teach you how to best use it and take advantage of it to its fullest potential. We also have some Seller Central type tutorials that shows you how to do things like sync your account with MWS or create coupons or a number of different things. We put those inside of the seller tutorial section. And then down here on the bottom in the selling on Amazon A to Z section, you'll see the first 4 modules that we've released, as well as some of the modules that are going to be coming soon. And like I said, we're going to be releasing one of these each week for the rest of the year. So there's lots of new content coming soon in here. And let's go ahead and dive into one of these so you can see a little bit more of what it's about or what it's like. So it's built straight into Jungle Scout right here in such a way that it's easy to follow. We have closed captioning, which is helpful if you would like to learn a different language besides English. You can easily go through the different lessons here. There's more information about it at the bottom, as well as all of the different lessons and a summary of the lessons listed out below. So there's lots of content in here, and we spent a lot of time and brain power and energy understanding better how people best learn and how we can make sure that we're setting up all of the information inside of our academy in such a way that it's very easy to digest and consume. So, an example of that is lots of little bite-sized videos as opposed to, if you watch the $1 Million Case Study, it's like an hour-long video or 45-minute long video. So these little bite-sized chunks are much easier to learn. It's easier, even if you only have 10 or 15 or 20 minutes to watch a few of them, you can jump right back in from where you started. So it's a super cool way to learn about selling on Amazon. And like I said, we're designing all this content so that if you've never sold on Amazon before and you're looking to launch your first product, we teach you how to do that in here. Or if you are already selling on Amazon and you're an advanced seller, that we're going over some of the tips and tricks, what's working well on Amazon today. And like I said, some of those examples I gave you earlier, the different tips or the type of thing you can expect to find in there coming soon. So we're really excited about this. Like I said, the early customers that we released this to, you saw some of their comments earlier. It's just been fantastic. And this is really exciting for us because here at Jungle Scout, our mission is to make Amazon sellers just like yourself more successful. And we've definitely started on that mission through all of the functionality we've released inside of our product. And we have a whole bunch more of that coming soon, which is really exciting. But another way that we decided we could best fulfill this particular mission is by also posting a lot of educational content that's easy to consume, easy to listen to, and ultimately helps you guys become better sellers. So really excited to be releasing this, and I'm really excited for all of these new modules that are going to be coming out super soon. So let me dive back into my slide deck here. And, when we were creating this, there were a lot of questions around what do we charge for this? And I'd like to know from you guys. It's really fun to hear from you guys. And one of the things I love about being live is I can see directly in the chat box what you're typing. So tell me, what is high quality educational content worth to help you learn more about Amazon, to help you grow your business? Write it directly into the chat box because I love reading this from you guys. We were doing some kind of competitive research and we were looking around at some of the other high-end programs around the web. Some of them are quite popular, you guys have been telling us about. And these are the types of prices that we see. This particular one is almost $5,000. Another one that's quite popular with you guys, this one's $997. I know that there's a lot of other courses in this particular price point. It seems like this is kind of like the price of a lot of these high quality education pieces. So I'm seeing in the chat box right there that one person said $997. David gives me a winky face. He says $49. But I think this is like the price that most of you guys have come accustomed to paying for quality education like this. So when I was talking to the rest of our leadership team and a lot of the team, they were like, hey, this is the price that we should sell this content for. We've spent 3 months recording all the content. We have a team of 4 editors working full time to edit all of this. We've obviously invested a lot of money in it. So they were telling me that this is the price that we should be selling it for, $997. But instead, we've actually decided to include all of this for free with your Jungle Scout subscription. So, for $49 a month, if you're on the Jungle Scout plan, you're getting all of our education content included for free in that price. So we're not charging $997, we're not charging $5,000, but we're including all of that for free right inside of your subscription. And not only are you getting the Jungle Scout Academy, those 44 videos that are already in there and the new module that's being released every week for the rest of the year, and we'll be continuing to update it. But with that also comes all of the other Jungle Scout functionality, like the Supplier Tracker, like the Product Database, like the Product Tracker, the Niche Hunter, Keyword Scout to help you find keywords. We help you create your listings and optimize them, find suppliers through the Supplier Database, including the new ACoS search functionality, which we rolled out last week. You send follow-up emails to all your customers using it. We have the promotions platform. You also get access to the Jungle Scout extension. And like I said, we're including all this inside of the Jungle Scout subscription. You're not paying us $997 or $3,000 or $5,000 for it. We're including all of that inside of the Jungle Scout subscription. I know some of you guys think I'm crazy. Daniela says, awesome, man. You guys are so amazing. Thank you very much for your hard work. I can't wait to be your customer. Charlie said, that's amazing because I get more from Jungle Scout than I do from the expensive course that I'm taking. This is the best one, man. So I'm really happy to hear all this fantastic feedback. And I'm really happy to hear that you guys are already enjoying this educational content. If you do not already have Jungle Scout, we are running a promotion for new customers. So if you don't already have Jungle Scout, you're looking to get into it, you want to take advantage of not only the Academy, which we just released, but also the ACE search functionality that we released last week, all this other functionality that I just spoke about, plus all of the functionality that we're rolling out for the next 6 weeks. You can take advantage of it for only $34.50 for your first month. After that, it recurs at the normal price of $69 a month, but for only $34.50, you can get access to all this education right now. You can go in there, you can start watching our videos, and we're running this as a special just for this webinar. And we have been talking a lot about pricing, and one of the things we realized, like we were looking at the end of this year and starting to plan into next year, is all this functionality that we're rolling out over the course of this 8 weeks really puts Jungle Scout in like an entire different level than what we're at right now. So we are probably going to be increasing our pricing at the start of next year, but all the existing customers will be locked or grandfathered in at our existing pricing. So if you're kind of on the fence on it, it seems kind of like a no-brainer now because you get half off this first month and you'll be grandfathered into our pricing and you won't have to pay a higher price after we release all this functionality and it raises next year. It's worth it. Do it. Kalika says, Joe81, you guys are the best. Wow, the feedback from you guys is awesome. So thank you very much. Keep dropping it in there. I really loved it. And if you want to take advantage of this, you can find it at junglescout.com/power. And let me just show you real quickly what that looks like. So if you go to junglescout.com/power, you'll see this page. You can scroll down here right now, you can click the Buy Now button. So that's junglescout.com/power. You can see it right here. This is what it looks like. This is where you'll be taken to. And you can get that first month for 50% off. It's a special just for this webinar series that we're doing. We're not always gonna have that, so I encourage you to take advantage of it if you're interested. With all of our products, there's always a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy with it for any reason, just shoot us an email in the first 14 days. We'll be more than happy to refund your money. That being said, I'm confident that that won't happen because the response we get from our customers is always fantastic with not only our software, but you're really gonna enjoy this education as well. Of course, you'll have access to our 24/7 industry-leading support team. If you start reading a lot of the reviews floating around the web of Jungle Scout, you constantly hear about the amazing support team that we have and that we're always here for you guys, not only to help you with the product, but also just to better succeed in your businesses. Like I said, that's the mission for us here at Jungle Scout, is just to help you, the entrepreneurs, be more successful on Amazon. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the chat box and see what kind of questions you guys have for me. HM Coordinator says, I am ready for my orange shirt. Someone from our social team is going to be choosing the 10 winners for the orange Jungle Scout shirts, just like the one I'm wearing here. So make sure you're dropping your questions inside of the chat box so they know who's active on the webinar so that they can choose one of the winners. And like I said, if you're interested in the deal, it's junglescout.com/power. That's where you'll find access to it. And we're only leaving it up for 24 hours. So you won't be able to go there and find this if you try to check it out at the end of the week. If you're watching a replay, I apologize, but come back for one of the other live webinars and you can hopefully find it again. All right. Let's see what kind of questions you guys have for us. Everyone's talking about the t-shirt. We know all you guys want the t-shirt. Let me know what questions you guys have for us, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Let's see. We have one here that says, what do you think about products with high demand in the US but no existing listing in Germany? That could potentially be a good opportunity for you. What I like to do though, if I find a product like that, is I like to first verify that there is demand for this type of product in whatever marketplace or location you're looking at. So I'll go to that particular Amazon marketplace, and I'll also do my product research there just to make sure there's also existing demand in that marketplace as well. Can we do the promotion with an existing account? Unfortunately, it is only for new customers. This one says, did you reach the 1 million for Pencils of Promise? A lot of you guys have been following Jungle Scout for a while. It's probably familiar with our $1 million case study, which we started a few years back. I am happy to report that we're just about at the $1 million mark in overall sales, and the profit from that has all been donated to charity. We started with Doctors Without Borders, and the past couple years we've been donating to Pencils of Promise. It's really cool. They actually built a school just from the money that we donated from them. It has a little Jungle Scout plaque on it. If you search Jungle Scout, Pencils of Promise on Google, you can probably find some pictures of the school. It's really cool and a really special thing to be a part of. Let's see here. This is a good question. This one says, do you guys have tools for researching suppliers? This is from Michelle. And Michelle, yes, we do have a tool for researching suppliers. So this past summer, we released new functionality inside of Jungle Scout called the Supplier Database. And the Supplier Database is super, super powerful. So much so that let me actually share my screen right here and show it to you guys. So inside of Jungle Scout, in the Find Suppliers section, you'll see the Supplier Database. And this is really cool because we take import trade data and we sort it in such a way so that you can find out what factories are importing goods into the US. So not only that, but you can see what factories your competitors are using. You can also see things like, who commonly imports this type of product, where are locations we can purchase this product from besides from China to avoid tariffs. So it's a really powerful thing. If you check out our YouTube channel, you can find out some more information around it. Or better yet, go into the Academy, watch some of the videos in the Academy, and we cover how not only to use the Supplier Database, but how ultimately to find the best supplier. I see in the chat box, where's what's the link again? So you can check it out at junglescout.com/power. And we'll also look at it just one more time right here. So it's junglescout.com/power if you want to take advantage of this 24-hour time limited deal. And yeah, really exciting stuff. So let's see what other questions we have here. This one says, does the Supplier Database have US-based suppliers as well? No, it does not. Since we're taking the data of all the information of imports into the US, it covers all factories from outside of the US, but there's not any supplier information from US factories. So that is kind of on the roadmap of something we'd like to add in the future. Well, it would be a different data source, but we have some good ideas for how we go about doing that. But right now, it is only factories that's outside of the US. All right, this one has asked, how good are the Jungle Scout tools at helping in Amazon India? The Jungle Scout tools do support Amazon India. So for example, you can take our extension right now. You can go to Amazon India, you can do your research on there and do some digging. So the Jungle Scout tools do help with Amazon India. The next question here, can I launch a product with high demand and high competition? I would recommend finding something that has high demand with lower competition. And this is a pretty big subject, we cover this in depth inside of the Jungle Scout Academy, and we go over all the different types of ways that you can find these different opportunities, because there are still plenty of opportunities on Amazon where you can find products that are in high demand with low competition. So can you launch a product with high demand, high competition? Yeah, sure. But I'd recommend finding one with high demand with lower competition. All right. This one says, were there suppliers that are listed outside of China? Yes. Inside of our supplier database, we have all of the factories worldwide that have ever imported something into the US or in the past 5 years. So, a number of these are Chinese factories, but there's also a whole bunch that are from other countries all around the world. The next question here says, is Jungle Scout beneficial for UK sellers? Yes, it absolutely is. So Jungle Scout definitely supports the EU marketplaces. About a quarter of our customers are actually from the EU. A lot of those are from the UK. So yes, it's definitely beneficial for UK sellers, just as much so as what it is for US sellers. The next one here says, do you offer one-on-one training? No, unfortunately, I don't offer one-on-one training. I've already mentioned the mission here at Jungle Scouts to help entrepreneurs like you be successful. So you might be thinking, okay, why don't you offer one-on-one training? And what I realize is the way that we can help the most is by creating this high quality educational content, like what we're doing on the YouTube channel, and more so like what we're doing here inside of the Academy. So I take all of the information that I would be teaching you during one-on-one training, we film it, we edit it so it's easy to digest, and we put it right there into the Academy. So I don't do one-on-one training, but you'll find all the same stuff that I would be teaching during one-on-one training right inside of the Academy. This one says, when is Keyword Scout going to be open for the EU and Mexico? Spoiler alert, but if you watch the next couple webinars, you'll find out a lot more information about Keyword Scout being released in other locations. Not only that, but a whole bunch of other really powerful feature enhancements. So make sure you check out the, continue to follow this webinar series, and you'll find out more about that. All right. Let's see. All right, this one says, why is there such a huge difference between the estimated sales shown in Jungle Scout Extension versus Amazon Scout Pro? Or, we oftentimes get this question about, hey, we compared it to this, and that, and the other thing. And what we realize is it's, like Jungle Scout was the first software tool for product research in the market. We're the first ones to create sales estimates for Amazon. And with that, we have a lot of historical data. We've also been able to grow the company. It's over 100 people here at Jungle Scout now. We have a full-time team of data scientists that are constantly working on this particular problem. And what we found is it's easy for companies to kind of try to knock off Jungle Scout, right? Like this company said, they named their company Amazon Scout. It's easy for them to try to knock off Jungle Scout, but it's actually quite a difficult challenge to estimate sales well or have a high level of data accuracy. And you can actually, if you search right now, like Jungle Scout ACoS sales case study, we actually compared Jungle Scout to our top 10 competitors, the accuracy associated with them with real accounts. We show the videos with you guys. We share all the information. What you see from that is Jungle Scout was by far the most accurate tool in the space. And what was more scary is some of these other tools, I won't name any names, but were so inaccurate that it could actually be a pretty detrimental thing to the business. So that's kind of the short answer of why there's such a difference there. But what you'll find is if you compare it to your own products or products that you do know the actual sales of, that you'll find Jungle Scout's actually quite accurate. This one says, will you touch on taxes again soon? We do have a module of this inside of the Academy. We've also have some information around this on the $1 Million case study and some other stuff, and we'll be continuing to help you guys with this because this is like an ever-changing field. And even though it's not one of my favorite topics, it is something that's very important to Amazon sellers, and we do have a good grasp of taxes that are required for Amazon sellers here at Jungle Scout. All right, this one I think is referring to factories. It says, which countries are the best alternatives for China? Is it worth it, or is China still the best option? And we've done quite a bit of research on finding factories outside of China. And the short answer here is the most factories are definitely still in China. What happens with a lot of sellers is that they want to find a factory outside of China because they're scared of tariffs, and ultimately they're not able to for their particular product. Now, that's not always true, and I'd encourage you to check or search the supplier database to try to find one or see if there's other factories outside of China. Oftentimes there's not, and with that, these Chinese factories still are the best option. So I'd say it's really dependent on your particular case, but I would recommend searching for them inside the supplier database, see what other options or if there are other options for you, and then kind of go from there. All right, this next one is, what's the best strategy for launching products that are currently not sold on Amazon? And what I'll say with this is it's risky to launch a product on Amazon that you haven't verified that customers are actually searching and purchasing this style of product on Amazon. So before I were to launch a product that's not on Amazon, I would want to check Keyword Scout to make sure there's existing search volume for keywords that customers would be searching for if they were looking for your product. And then I would also want to make sure that customers on Amazon are purchasing a similar style or similar type of product. So that's what I would do. If there's no search volume and people aren't purchasing a similar type of product, then it's going to be a very, very difficult road ahead for you to bring awareness to your product on Amazon because it's a very much a search intent based platform. Let's see. Please clarify for me with the special offer of $34.50 for the first month, followed by $69 for the regular subscription. The training academy is included in that package. Yes, Tommy, the academy is included in that package, okay? So when I was talking about these very high numbers, 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, whatever else, these are what other programs are charging for this type of content. We here at Jungle Scout are including all the information right inside of the academy, which is included at this price point. So if you do decide to take advantage of the junglescout.com/power deal, you will get access to the academy, okay? So it's $34.50 for the first month. After that, it renews at $69 per month, and you get full access to the academy, including all the new content that we're gonna be releasing in the coming weeks, as well as all of the new features and functionality that we're including, or that's gonna be released for the rest of this year. And like I said, we've kind of structured these in such a way so that it almost gets more exciting as the weeks go on. So there's gonna be a lot more of really powerful functionality being released soon. All right. This question is, would Jungle Scout include patented or trademarked or copyright indication on product searches? This is a feature request that we've gotten before and something that we've looked into. It is difficult to determine a patent to a high level of accuracy. That being said, we have some ideas of ways that we kind of flag it if it's potentially patented. And yeah, that's something that we're considering. And my guess is you can expect something like that on Jungle Scout in the future. This one is, how accurate is Keyword Scout? Can you share the back end of it and how it works? I'll tell you what, stay tuned in this webinar series because I'm going to do an entire webinar just on Keyword Scout and some of the new functionality that we're releasing related to keywords. During that webinar, I'll talk a little bit more about how our data science team is able to estimate keyword search volume to such a high level of accuracy. So stay tuned, make sure you follow, and you'll enjoy finding out more about that soon. Will the training be constantly updated? Yes, absolutely it will. So this is going to be something that we're not only continuously adding to, but we'll be continuously updating it, because those of you who have been around the Amazon ecosystem for a while, you know that it is a very dynamic marketplace and things are always changing. The tactics of what's working is changing. Amazon's rules are changing. They release new types of PPC or whatever else. So these are all the different types of things that we'll be constantly updating our academy with forever, for a long time to come. So you can, just like we're constantly making the tool better, you can expect us to constantly be having new releases and improvements with the academy. So we have time for about 2 more questions. So go ahead and drop them in the chat box now. If you don't get them in now, or if I don't choose them, then come back for next week's webinar. It's going to be next Tuesday, where we have a really, really exciting product launch. This is one that we've been working on for probably like over 6 months now. It's really powerful, and I know you guys are going to love it. So make sure that you come. We see our CFO is actually inside of the chat box now. He's asking us to stop discounting this package. And the Jungle Scout support team is telling Bill, our CFO, to quit tuning in, because we like giving discounts to you guys. Let's see. This one says, last week's ACoS supplier search data shows all the seller suppliers, not just the supplier for that one ACoS, right? Yes, we are showing the factories associated with the company that owns that ACoS. And then in there, you can typically find the respective factory that's responsible for that product by filtering by keywords inside of that search. So we're showing all the factories associated with the company that own that ACoS, and then based off keywords, you can determine which shipment relates to that particular ACoS. Last one, let's pick a good one here. All right, Eva, you have our last question of the day. What is a good price point for product bundles? When I personally sell multi-packs, I like to discount like a 2 or 3 pack by like, it's not a ton, like 10% cheaper than what they would be getting if they were to just add like 2 or 3 of those to their cart. So I think that's a good place to start. And the really nice thing about the trick that I was talking about earlier is you can experiment with different bundle types or different quantities of multi-packs and see which ones work best for you guys. So with that being said, I was gonna put the special offer up on the screen one more time, junglescout.com/power. Like I said, we're only gonna keep this up for 24 hours. So if you wanna take advantage of it, you can do so now. And the page looks just like this. Like I said, you get the first month for half off. After that, it renews at the normal price of $69. But again, you get the extension with this, you get the academy with this, you get our web application with this, the supplier database, all of our product research functionality, keyword research, the email follow-ups, our promotions platform. So there's a ton included right inside of there. So I'd encourage you guys to take advantage of it. It's absolutely risk-free since we have a 14-day money-back guarantee. Thank you guys very much for tuning into this webinar. It's always a blast to get to chat with you guys through this platform and through the chat box. And I will see you next Tuesday for one of the feature releases that I am most excited about. So I'll see you there. Bye-bye.